That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
It's crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 184 of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, Charles Barkley.
And we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and EFOC.
Stop it.
Because it's funny. It's coffee spelled backwards. David, it's funny.
Okay. Let's move on.
No, we're actually, the word I'm going to say is freaks, which is maybe not an okay term, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that, we got to catch up on any of the weird news you may have missed. And I think I got most of the stories today because Dave was just having a dry spell over there in terms of
Let me lead with it so you don't use the one I have.
Okay, good point.
Yeah. Landscaping crew mows around dead body, assuming it was a Halloween prop.
Regardless of like if it is a Halloween prop, I think people would probably want their lawn mowed evenly over like.
Well, I mean that's for the homeowner to pick that shit up before, you have your yard people.
You're right. It's true, but they didn't want to pull a little scene from The Happening, that horrid movie starring Mark Wahlberg, directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
I got kicked out of that movie.
Why?
Because I went with some friends and we were laughing at it too loudly, and someone complained they kicked us out. We're in high school.
Oh, I thought you had the hole in the bottom of the popcorn trick.
No.
But the problem is you
That
went to
would've
the
been a
movie
bad
you went to the movie by yourself. She's like, "Sir, what are you doing?" You're like, "I love popcorn." So you're gonna take your hand out of the bag. No. No. Do you remember that part where the guy, it was in the trailer where like some guy like just lays down in front of a out of control or it's like riding around by itself, and he just like lays down, and
that movie's so goddamn bad.
Yeah, you know what the twist was? Spoiler, if you don't want to listen to it, skip ahead 30 seconds. I think the leaves were making people kill themselves.
Yeah, it was like
the trees?
Photosynthesis or some pollen. I think it was pollen.
It was there was no like leading into it. I feel like they're just like, oh yeah, Earth is like important, and then they're like, the Earth is killing all. You're like, that's not even like a clever twist. It seems like a cop out. It seems
a little
really
on the nose.
Weird. And
like,
it's like
we get global warming, all that shit.
Exactly, and I have to be completely honest, not scary. I don't really care about a tree releasing. Like, if that's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Like,
you heard it here first, folks. He doesn't care about trees.
Hey, guess what? No, trees just don't scare me. Put that on the fucking record, okay? They don't scare me. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, dead body. Whose dead body was it? The homeowner?
Well, a dead body of a North Carolina man was ignored for several days as it was mistaken for a Halloween decoration. The body of 34-year-old Robert Owens.
Oh.
Yep.
Like, out for a couple of days. It was really looking like a Halloween decoration then, huh?
That could go two ways really poorly. It could either be hot in North Carolina, so that body could be cooking, or it could be raining in North Carolina, so that body be waterlogged.
Wet.
Yeah.
He had it definitely full of worms, right?
Yeah, they're saying no cause of death has been discovered, but they are not suspecting any foul play. So maybe like an
bird
OD.
dropped coconut.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny you say that.
Why?
You'll find out.
Bird drop a coconut?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Cool. I got one right here. As the feds say, man torture waterboarded by kidnappers. Oh, this is not the funnier. Don't you hate it when you go from like Reddit to the actual news article and like the Reddit title was a lot funnier? This one isn't funny. So this guy got kidnapped and tortured by by two people at an Airbnb, but they they realized it was the wrong person, and they kidnapped the wrong person, and they still tortured him and kidnapped him.
Yeah.
So these three men in South Florida, of course, happened in South Florida. They kidnapped this man from like a stripper joint called Booby Trap. It's a popular Pampano beach strip club. And they went in and I guess they grabbed the wrong guy and threw a thing over his head. And when they got him there, they're like, oh, this is the wrong guy. But they're like, we should still just torture them.
Yeah.
Or torture him. So
They got all ready for it. They got to go through with it, you know?
Exactly. So one of the guys was dressed up like a cop. He's wearing a gold badge and a tactical vest. There's no way that looked good, right?
Yeah.
It's like
The
it had
tactical
to-
vest, it never looks good.
No, and that gold badge was probably from Party City, right?
Yeah.
But this man was blindfolded, so it's whatever. But they pointed a gun at him, and then they put like a drill bit on his skin, and they're like, "We're gonna drill into you." And they didn't shoot him or drill into him, but then they proceeded to waterboard him for like a while. And after they realized right when they kidnapped the guy, it wasn't the right guy, and they're like, "This is still waterboard him." So they waterboarded him, and then brought him back, and we're like, "Oh my god!" They covered his face with 4 or 5 black masks, and then waterboarded him. Oh shit! It really can't
Multiple layers.
Yeah. So then they dropped him back over the booby trap, and they're like, okay, now go in and get the guy that we were actually after. And instead, the guy called in a bomb threat to get the cops there as fast as he could while he was inside the strip club. Cops showed up. One guy hid in a bush. The other guy crashed his Porsche. But they ended up getting them all, and they're just like, yeah. We were trying to collect a debt, and we grabbed the wrong guy, but we just thought we should still like waterboard him.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, I just don't get it.
It's a bit much, huh, fellas?
It's, just South Florida tings, I guess. I don't know. It's very strange. I have another one here as Mum, UK.
Yeah.
Mum chokes to death while doing marshmallow challenge. So that's my worst fear.
Meemaw.
No, she was 37.
No.
But
I just imagined a Meemaw.
oh, if Meemaw. The problem is when Meemaw is choking, you have two options.
Yeah.
She dies by choking, or
Yeah.
she dies by blunt force trauma from Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah. Pretty
Shatters her.
Just
breaks
snaps
her. in half.
her.
Like Bane.
What are you doing? Oh, we have a guest.
If you could see what I saw.
up? What? What do you need? It's just you've already disrupted it. You left the door open too. Wives, am I right?
I just thought,
Oh,
look,
now
the dog's
now
back.
we got a dog in the room. No, take her.
Tilly, come on.
Damn, that dog quick as hell. You sure it's not a rat?
Nah, she crazy fast. What?
Are you gonna mention me for once on the podcast?
I always talk about you never listen to the podcast. What was the last episode you listened to? Yeah.
They hear enough of us talk during the day. They don't need no more.
No. It's honestly for the best.
I was just gonna say, you ever seen
Have to
Dark
find a way
Knight?
to edit that out.
Dark Knight, what?
Gonna have to find a way to edit that one out.
You ever seen Dark Knight Rises where Bane smashes grandma over his knee?
Yeah.
That's what would happen if my grandma was choking.
man who broke Peepaw.
His dentures go flying out when he hits the knee. Yeah, if you throw Peepaw in a well, he's not climbing back out like Batman, okay? Broken
No.
back. You can't hang from a rope and just get back get your back, you know?
Only a helicopter is getting Peepaw out of that hole.
And if it is, it's going to be like that helicopter clip where that woman in the fucking plastic thing, and just spinning her violently.
It's
for,
still
like,
probably the funniest video I've ever seen in my entire
She
life.
sued, right, and
Yeah.
won a lot of money.
Oh yeah, so we can
they-
laugh about it.
They fucked her up, right?
She was spinning like Mach 4. I've never seen an object move that fast.
I would be so fucking scared. I'd be like, "Is this the rest of my life?"
Now I gotta watch that.
I feel like when I get really dizzy, I get like really scared. I'm like, I don't like. I need this to end. And I don't get really dizzy often, but I really don't like it.
Yeah.
Fucks me up. So yeah, she would just put a bunch of marshmallows. I think they're doing like that chubby bunny challenge. They were fundraising for like a competition. Okay, here's the thing too.
She's tossing them up in the air and catching them, and it just went down her gullet.
She was doing seal tricks.
Did you take the clicker for the
Did I take the clicker?
Did she call the remote the clicker?
Yeah, she calls the remote the clicker.
Talk about peepaw.
Yeah, it's an issue. No, I did not take the clicker with me to record.
You take it around the house a lot.
Honey, I don't know. Did you check under the pillows?
This is suburban bliss, everybody.
What?
Soak this in. Soak this up, you guys. This is
Do you think Tilly ate it?
this is marriage, you guys. This is what it is. Arguing over if the dog ate the fucking remote.
Now let's get it clear. It's the clicker.
If you want to get to channel 4, you got to
can't shut the damn door.
If you want to get to channel 4, you got to smash the dog over your knee as hard as you can. There, it's closed.
Oh my god.
All right. Okay, now we're back. This is a
People
chaotic
wonder why I'm
episode.
insane.
It's isn't it in your, it's hereditary, correct?
Crazy in love.
But my thing is,
Sorry, what were we talking about?
this woman choking on marshmallows while doing seal tricks to catch marshmallows in her mouth.
That's right.
But like I said, like I think they're doing like some challenge, and she shoved them all in her mouth. She was laughing, and when you laugh, she inhaled the marshmallow.
Oof.
And it went into her throat, and she collapsed, and they went and they grabbed the defibrillators. But the thing is, when you grab defibrillators and you're choking on marshmallows, all you got to do is roast them bitches because they're still lodged in there.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, she's just choking on roasted marshmallows, which is nice, better, I guess.
Yeah.
But there was somebody at, like, my college that, like, they were doing, like, a fucking pancake eating contest, and the girl choked to death and died. And I'm like, I just can't, like, that, I can't fathom that stuff. There's so many things that, like, I'm scared of dying from, and choking is, like, one of them that I don't think about until all of a sudden it happens. And then for about half a day, you chew your food twice as much, and then you forget again.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Now there's loud music coming from the bedroom.
She found the clicker.
I said, please turn the volume down. She said, I don't have anything on.
What?
Oh my god.
Jesus.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Should I just do this news story to everybody else? Okay, David walked away. So we're gonna I'm gonna do this news story. Just me and you guys, okay? EasyJet flight canceled because of defecation incident. So he's back.
So she took the clicker from the other Apple TV in the bedroom to take it to the living room. And when we leave the dog alone during the day, we typically leave like those 20-hour-long YouTube videos on that are like soothing music.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like music for dogs?
Yeah. And so she took the remote out there and hit play out there. It started playing in the bedroom.
Your dog's addicted to TV, dog. You should put on Coco Melon for that.
Do we just start over at this point?
No, keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. I was just telling everybody on pod while you're gone. EasyJet flight canceled because of defecation incident. So this is a really quick one. These people, they were getting ready to fly off, and their flight got delayed by a long time. And after everybody was all full of suspense and anger, apparently because it took a while for the plane to get there, and then they had to remove bags because the plane was overweight. We saw 2 people go to the bathroom while it was loading, and they came out, and somebody was like, somebody shit on the floor. And they don't know if it was an accident or not, but long story short, they had to take everybody off the plane again because it smelled so much like shit.
Is this the same one where the person shit all over like the entire plane?
No, there's another incident where somebody
boy.
threw up all over the plane, and then they didn't clean the seat, and they wanted somebody to sit in it, and they're like, I'm not fucking sitting in that.
No. That is like the one thing I can't do. Can't do vomit.
I have a kind of a big issue with airlines. Oh, okay. I'm just going to say it. I don't even care if I get canceled. I have a big issue. No, airlines are just like fucking terrible. I think it's probably the most unethical.
Jesus.
Okay, their business is like, we are going to oversell flights, and then people have to get here on time for a certain reason. Like, they plan their trip around this, and we're just going to oversell flights. And then if everybody shows up, we are going to ask people to leave. And if people do not want to leave because everybody's there for a reason and has to get to their place at a certain time, we are going to kick people off. And you're like, how is this fair? And they go, we own the fucking plane. Deal with it. And you're just like, I hate airlines. I just wish, I wish I could run over water like Flash.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you are the fastest person I've ever seen.
Thank you. I know.
Yeah.
That was just a tirade on planes. It wasn't funny. I just fucking hate airlines.
Not everything's got to be a joke, man.
Dude, I hate them. And you know what else I hate? Corporations. As my last story for the day, Citibank wins case over sacking banker over 2 sandwich lunch claim. So this is some bullshit. I'm so mad that Citibank won over this. This guy got fucking fired because he went on a business trip and they gave him like a per diem or something like that. And they're you could buy food with this or whatever. And what he did was he ordered 2 sandwiches and 2 coffees, and when he went to go file his receipts with his business or whatever, he said it said, I was on a business trip by myself and I had 2 coffees as they were very small. And he goes, they further stated, on that day I skipped breakfast and had 1 coffee in the morning. For lunch I had 1 sandwich with a drink and 1 coffee at a restaurant and took another coffee back to the office and had the second sandwich in the afternoon, which also served as my dinner. And he basically just comes up with this like really long thing about how justifying his 2 sandwiches and 2 coffees. And then they found out that he was with like his wife. And his wife had one of the sandwiches and coffee, and they fucking fired him.
Busted.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, obviously Citibank won, but like that shit annoys me so much. Where like Citibank, who like fucking forecloses houses on people and just makes so much money, they're just like, we're firing you because sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm like, can't get a write-up?
I mean, people do much worse. A sandwich is a sandwich. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. I think they have the right to do it, but it's still just like, come on, man.
But don't you kind of wish that, like, it's kind of like that big question. If you break the law, don't you, like, don't steal $100. Steal $100,000.
Exactly.
Right?
He should have bought like 5-course meal.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but he didn't think he was gonna get caught. So,
I mean, he shouldn't have.
What?
He shouldn't have gotten caught.
Oh, they're gonna. But he's like, he shouldn't have bought the 2 sandwiches. I'm like, are you taking Citibank's side?
No.
First the airlines, now this. Yeah. So that's Citibank. Don't
More
bank
like
with them.
shitty bank.
Oh, more like shitty bathroom in the airplane bank. More like we should probably get into this episode.
Yeah. Hopefully we have no more interruptions.
Okay. Well, David, as I told you, my word of the day was not EFOC, but in fact, it was freaks. And freaks is a very, I don't see it as a very controversial statement, but at the end of the day, it is derogatory. It is derogatory towards a certain type of person that was at a carnival, probably during anywhere in the early to mid 1900s, even up to the 17s. Man, they didn't have movies, so we just had to go and see a guy with his feet fused together.
Guy with no feet.
Feet fuser. Oh, what a cool superhero. Feet fuser. So today I'm going to tell you, because one of our listeners, I believe her name is Liz, requested that we do a story on old circuses or something.
You know,
like
I
that.
saw that and I thought about doing that, and I'm so glad I didn't, because we did not communicate that at all.
Nope. I just thought about it. I was like, okay, I've covered Grady the lobster boy, who committed the murder of like his daughter's boyfriend or something like that. Grady Stiles or something like that. And he went to prison for murder, but he was a part of the freak show because, like I said, he was a lobster boy, which meant his like digits were fused together and they look like a lobster claw. So today I wanted to cover a couple other, I'll call them entertainers.
Yes.
And not freaks. But I will say the term freak show and maybe some other terms that people don't necessarily agree with, but it was of the times. Yeah. So,
and for the record, if you guys have topics you want to hear, let us know. Maybe even, specify who you want to cover it, so we don't end up both doing it.
It's also, we could just communicate, David.
No. We don't. We only do that on Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
It's also that will help us out a lot because we forget what we covered. Mm-hmm. So somebody goes, "We want to hear this story." It's like, that's good because I thought I already covered that. I guess I didn't. Man. So
I've got a feeling today I'm going to talk about something you've already talked about, but we'll find out.
I feel like there's parts of this story where I'm like, "Wait, did I talk about this already?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So
yeah, any mega fan want to do us a big favor, go through and maybe type up a little document saying everything we've covered, so then we
David.
No.
David.
I tried to do that once and it was excruciating. I gave up very quick.
Yeah, if anybody has like a steel trap mind or something. I mean, all we have to do is go through the descriptions of our podcast and just like
honestly it's way worse than it sounds.
Because 186 now?
Yeah, but also I think part of it too is like I just think the interface of like the layout of the Apple podcast, it just infuriates me a lot of the times. Like when I'm trying to just look at a description and it starts playing, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I fucking hate this podcast too.
No, I'm just saying like I don't know a service that I could easily like pull up the description without like fucking something up.
Yeah, fair. Anyway, well, this one's about freaks. I mean, entertainers. So let's get into it. So, my first one, or should I say two, is Lazarus and Johannes Baptista Colleredo. They were Italian conjoined twins who toured freak shows in the 17th century Europe. So this is like, I don't know when freak shows or oddities, circuses started happening, but like this is so early. This is like right when the camera got invented, probably. I don't know when the camera got invented, but there's a picture of them. So like I said, they were twins, but they were conjoined twins, as I said. So the twins were extremely popular.
Where were they attached?
I want to save that. I'm burying the lead. I'm going to say that one.
Okay.
So the twins were extreme. No, they weren't. That would be cool. And used as a jump rope. People were double dutching with them and stuff. Yeah. Double dutch, you need two penises, actually.
I don't know what that means.
Double dutch is when you go two. Like where you go two over. It's a jump rope thing, dude.
I'm not a jump ropist.
Or are you not a penis guy?
I'm not a rope guy. Well, not the type you jump.
Shooting rope.
Huh?
shooting rope. so,
I need my tools, man.
so the twins were extremely popular on the circus circuit and traveled all across Europe, drawing large crowds to witness the strange oddity, which is a parasitic conjoined twin. I don't like that word, but it's important. So
Okay.
a parasitic twin. I wish I was a parasitic twin. It seems so easy. So a parasitic twin occurs when a twin embryo begins developing in utero, but the pair does not fully separate, and one embryo maintains dominant development at the expense of the other. The undeveloped twin is termed as parasitic because it is incompletely formed or wholly dependent on the body functions of the complete fetus. And the complete fetus is called the autocyte. You're learning a lot today, okay?
Yeah. And so basically it's like they share legs.
Yes. So like I'll tell you this right now. So just to paint you a picture, Lazarus was the autocyte and was thought to be quite handsome, actually, appearing otherwise perfectly healthy except for his chest. Because Johannes Baptiste's brother, his parasitic brother, you're my parasitic brother. His parasitic brother, on the other hand, protruded upside down from his brother's chest and was also quite. Oh, why I wrote this? It was also quite handsome because beauty is subjective, and I think he is my type. I forgot I wrote that. He handsome too.
Oh my god.
I got a thing for parasites. It's just so it's so demeaning to be like, I understand the term and like what a parasite is. It's like something that lives off something else, but like the term is so like dirty. It's being like,
Yeah.
you're my worm brother. It's like calling somebody like somebody who's born without arms and you're like, you're worm brother. And you're like, what do you mean I'm worm brother? You're like, yeah, it's just a term we use in the
Back in the day, they didn't give a shit.
hospitals.
They did not give a shit back in the day. They named people crazy shit like that.
Yeah, true. But also, like, you know, words change over time because, like, as we say, the R word, that was seen as a medical term, and now then it became derogatory, and then there we go, well, we're not going to use that anymore because it's insulting. But at the time, it just meant slow or, you know, something like that because they still use it in band. They say, like, retardando and stuff. Or,
They
like,
use it
music.
like something's flame retarded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like that was a big snickering incident when in band they're like, this note that sign means retardando, and everyone's like, and my teacher's like, oh, grow up,
I forgot who I was dealing with.
grow up, you bunch of, just kidding. So
Jesus Christ.
I didn't say anything, dude. You parasite, shut up. So this guy was hanging out of his brother's chest upside down. So, David, picture this.
A lot of blood rush to the dome.
Exactly. So he was kind of doing imagine, I'm trying to think of how, imagine you were holding, like a half man at your chest. No,
Okay.
just like picture it like somebody, torso. His parasitic twin had a torso, and they were like, if the parasitic twin can do a sit-up, they would be face to face.
What about boners?
He didn't have the parasitic.
I'm not talking
Sorry.
about that.
John Baptista didn't have a boner.
I'm just
maybe
saying
he did.
when he did, would it scoot his brother up?
It was kind of like a pinball machine. Like, you know how you pull back the lever? Like, he'd get one, and then John Baptiste would shoot up, and they'd headbutt each other.
Neither one of them had
Kiss.
teeth.
They'd kiss.
Knock their teeth out real quick.
He's a pinball wizard. Okay, so he was hanging out his chest. I don't care how handsome you are. That is a boner killer. That does not get you the ladies if you got your parasitic twin hanging out.
I don't know, man. Some people are into weird stuff, you know.
You're right. 1700s hey, if you were handsome, I've seen some pictures of people from the 1700s. I feel like nobody was handsome, so
No.
they're just like, okay. So John Baptiste was significantly smaller than Lazarus, and only his upper body and his left leg was hanging out too.
Oh, so there was a third leg?
So the
Or were
left
there
leg,
four?
the left leg was kind of like side saddling him, like going like starting at Lazarus's hip and like going out towards his butt. So like if he fell backwards, his brother leg would be there to catch him, like a kickstand.
So just to confirm, though, there were 3 legs, not 4.
I guess there's 3 legs.
Okay.
So yeah, he kind of got like it sucks. So his left leg visibly extended from his brother's torso as well. Although his mental capacity will never be fully ascertained, it is believed by historians that Johannes Baptista likely had very limited mental capabilities. It has been recorded that Johannes Baptista could neither speak nor appear to act under his own volition. His eyes were constantly closed and his mouth hung open at all times. The only
that's just gonna draw on the flies.
Did he eat? That's my question, because like he's a parasitic twin, so it's like you fully survive off of like the body functions of like your
Then probably not.
brother. And it was 1700, so they're not like we can just like cut him off. Because at that point, there's like he's not even really living. Do you cut him off?
Yeah.
If it was 2023, do you cut him off?
Yeah. I would want to be cut off. If I was,
You
the
wouldn't
dangler.
even know you're being.
Yeah.
Okay, doctor from the 1700s. They're like parasitic twin, or what was your Dr. Stokes? What was your terminology? Dangler. Oh, yeah. I think we're gonna go with
dangler.
I think we're gonna go with parasitic twin instead. Okay, David, you can't laugh at this next part. Okay.
Okay.
The only response John Baptista ever made to human contact was a squirming motion if someone had laid a hand on his chest.
Not laughing.
That's true. I
That's
guess
sad.
I thought. Oh, you called him a dangler, dude. He can't squirm a little bit? Do a little squirm?
No. Squirming, not funny. Dangling, funny. That's where I draw the line.
So the brothers would tour across Europe, but when they weren't on exhibition, Lazarus would shield his brother from public view by covering him with a cloak. He's ashamed. That's not okay. If you got it, show it.
Come on, man. He's just trying to live a normal life, I guess.
Yeah, his brother's like a parakeet. He's got to like throw a towel over the cage. What, you gonna laugh?
No.
Oh, you're gonna crucify me? I'm not the one who put the cloak over him. I would have let him.
Parakeets can talk though, so that was a bad.
Oh, David. They squirm too. You're gonna parakeet squirm. Anyways, so, 2 more fun facts. There's so many fun facts about these guys. 2 more fun facts about the twins are that later accounts claim that Lazarus married and sired several children, none with his condition. I think it's kind of a freak accident when
None
something
with
like
his.
that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
None of his
his
kids-
children had a parasitic twin.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, a lot of the people that have, I mean, there's like
Is that
certain.
hereditary?
I don't think so. Like, I think it's like, I mean, twins are hereditary, but I don't think half-formed like Siamese twins are hereditary. I think that's like something just got messed up in the gestation process, where it's like they were separated and something happened.
Well,
But,
I found out recently at a friend's wedding that he was going
absorbed
to
his other twin.
twins. He was supposed to be a triplet. He absorbed the other 2. He won the first battle royale, and in 10 plus years of being close friends with him, he had never mentioned this, and his mother said it in the speech at the wedding. I couldn't believe it.
Why would she say that?
She's a character. Funny lady.
Did she name the other two? That's his first. He has two middle names.
You know, I don't remember if she said that they had names picked out or anything.
That'd be cool if he got two middle names, like Jean Claude. Like one's name Jean, one's name Claude.
Jean, yeah. No, I don't think so.
Squirmin' Dangler, Paul Squirmin' Dangler Smith. Anyway, so yeah,
We got a photo of this guy.
Yeah, type him in.
You said Lazarus.
Lazarus Colorado. Collororedo. Lazarus. That's a cool name. Biblical. It means raised from the dead, I think, or like that's what at least the guy did.
Yeah, I spelled all that wrong, but it still came up. There.
Yeah. You see him? See him?
I don't think I see drawings.
No, he has a picture. I saw a picture. Lazarus.
I see a photo, but all I see are legs and arms.
Oh, shit. Wait, no, this is a drawing. Did they not have a photo? Oh, my God. When the fuck was the camera invented? Am I dumb? I think this picture was just so good. You see this picture, though?
Well, yeah, you talking about the one that had little legs and the arms?
Yeah, this is like fucked, huh? It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
This guy's still kind of like sporting it, though. He's still kind of like hands on his hips. He's like, I don't give a fuck. It literally looks like somebody crumpled up a person and just like stuck him to his chest.
Yeah.
Good Lord. He looked like a pilgrim.
I mean, I get it, though. Like, if I was alive then and someone said this was a thing, I would absolutely want to go see that.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, who wouldn't want to see this? Look at that. That is something else. Kind of look like Captain Hook. Anyway, so the other fun fact about these fellows was that, as reported by Henry Sauval, a French historian, Lazarus was sentenced to death for killing a man.
Whoa.
But averted the execution by pointing out that this would also kill his innocent twin brother.
That's a good move.
Sometimes there is a perk to not cutting him off, David. If you want to go commit murder, you leave your brother attached.
I wonder how many times he could get away with killing someone and like use that. You know what I mean?
You know what I would do? As like revenge, I'd be like, okay, we're not gonna kill you. We're just gonna kill your brother.
You know what? We're gonna give you another brother, and they sew some random dude to your back.
Well, I was just thinking they kill his brother, then you gotta carry around a dead brother.
Yeah, I guess like what you know, if they just shot his brother in the head.
This is the most unethical podcast we've made so far.
I'm just saying. Say there something happens.
All you gotta do is put your hand on his chest; he'll die.
His brother dies. Would that affect him at all?
Well,
like, he would have to slowly like die, right?
Well,
if there's like a dead thing attached to him.
Right, that's happened, right?
I'm sure. I don't know.
It's not like a scab where he just becomes a big scab and then falls off, right?
No, it's got because you know he'll start to rot, and then that's got to pass into him.
Where does the rotting end?
It don't. Like the rotting never ends.
I guess it is. You'd get an infection, right? You'd probably die.
Yeah.
At that point, you'd probably just like get the saw.
That sounds stressful, man. Like, gotta keep it alive. Gotta keep him alive.
They put that guy in a saw trap, and he's like, "Finally, Jesus! If I could cut him off." I just needed a little push in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he would be in a saw trap. He murdered a guy.
Yeah.
So
you see the new Saw yet?
Yeah, I did.
Was it good? Okay, because I heard.
So,
I mean, I'm sure it was all a bunch of hogwash, but people were like, "Oh, it's the best one."
That's what I'm so confused about. Some of the traps, I'm like, I thought of a better way to get out of that. Why like, I don't like when the Saw movies basically just go, "We're gonna do it like this because like it's convenient for the trap," and I'm like, what? Like, come on, I could have got out of that in a different way. I can't explain it because it ruins the traps, but
Someone put Tobin in a trap.
I still think Saw 1 and 2 are the best Saws, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The needle pit, everyone always talks about when they throw a man in the needle pit. That was awesome.
You know what? I was watching this thing the other day about that, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it took us all this time to take the needles out of the needles."
The syringes.
Yeah, and I'm like, would have it been that difficult to contact the factory and just been like, "Yeah, skip that part"?
Yeah, I didn't know that syringes came with needles already in them. I thought you bought needles separately. They just buy in full. Like, imagine shipping a fucking syringe with a hypodermic needle at the end of it and then being like, yeah, I hope this doesn't just, like, break when we're transporting it. Like, no, they wouldn't. It's too long and fragile.
I'm sure there's very nice packaging.
You're right. Maybe. Anyway.
You got another
So-
freak for me?
Yeah, I got another one. This one was, like, literally just a paragraph because I liked it so much, and it
Yeah.
scared the fuck out of me.
Good.
Jonathan Bass, born 1828, died 1892, was a.k.a. the living mummy, and he was ossified, which means that his joints had stiffened and the bones all connected. This made it so that he could not move at all, and he was stuck in the same position for the rest of his life.
Oh, that
and
sucks.
But he wasn't always like this
He still get a boner?
perpetually. He was a boner.
He's
He was
always
all
hard?
boner. He was boner. He was boner. But yeah, like that's like something that scares. It's where your muscle turns to bone. It's like
Whoa.
It's like an autoimmune thing where like your bones fuse together and your muscles all like become like bone-esque material, and you just become like stiff. You can't move your neck. You can't move your joints. You're just like a stiff block of wood. And
So how'd he eat and shit and stuff?
I don't know. Well, he began stiffening when he was 20 when he was 20.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You
Is there a
18
cure for that now?
I want every 18-year-old listening to this. You got 2 more years before you start stiffening into a rod. Wait, what did you say?
Did they ever find like a cure for this?
No, he made it to 1892. How many years is that? 28 to 92. Quick maths. Do you know?
28 to 92?
Like 1828 to 1892. Oh my god, that's hard math. 60.
Too many numbers. My head's spinning.
64? 64?
Nintendo 64.
60, I don't, it doesn't matter. Anyway, but he eventually died from stiffening of the heart.
Oh, damn.
That, when I read that, that scared the shit out of me. I did not like it, but I wanted everybody else to be just as scared as I am from now. That's another thing you didn't know you need to be scared about, but it happens.
I just want to know about how he ate.
Oh, well, when he had his picture taken, because there's a picture of him, he was like on someone's knee. So I think I think he had a person that like carried him around.
Yeah, that's cool. That has nothing to do with how he would eat and shit.
Well, I thought you meant like put food in his mouth.
But
He still had holes. Oh,
Okay.
that sounded weird.
he has a liquid diet.
It sounded like want to fuck the mummy. He still had holes. They just put food in his mouth and he chewed.
He could move his jaw.
Oh, maybe not. Fuck, I don't know. Should I contact him?
Yeah, give him a call.
Google this guy. Jonathan. Oh my god, his name is Jonathan. Jonathon. Jonathan.
I'm
Base.
watching the Jonathon on Channel 3.
Okay, now I'm just getting a lot of like fucking realtors. Also, that guy who was in the Baywatch movie. His name's John Bass, apparently. No, okay. Freak. This might work. Oh, man. This is horrid. Oh, shit. I don't know how he ate. He looked like he's barely doing anything. Maybe they just poured food into his stomach. Anyway, next story. Isaac W. Sprague, the living skeleton. We had the living mummy. Now we have the living skeleton. So, born in 1841, Sprague had a mostly normal childhood in his hometown of East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. That was until age 12, when Sprague began irreversibly losing weight after feeling ill when coming back from swimming. What? What?
Swimming's not safe no more.
This is what I'm talking about. I don't like diseases that can happen at any age and after normal activities. They're like he ate a piece of bread that had a little mold on it and his eyes fell out, and you're just like, great, I have to fucking be, and like, it's so scary. So the weight loss continued throughout his life despite having a healthy appetite as well. In his early adulthood, Sprague bounced from job to job, working as a cobbler for his father and even as a grocer. But his physical limitations kept him from continuing down those career paths. Shortly after losing these jobs, his parents died. I don't know how both of his parents died, but it was like, what year was this? 1841? I feel like parents died more than usual. They'd be like, oh, a horse ran them over downtown or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just shit. Like, they're like, oh, you know that beam that all those construction workers were eating lunch on? That fell. They shouldn't have been sitting on it.
No.
Imagine one of those beams just falling out of the sky and just landing on you. That's how he wanted to go.
It would be quick.
You're right. Wouldn't be pretty. It's embarrassing. I know I'm dead. I know I'm just like a pile of like gushers on the ground, but like, it's embarrassing, right?
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
I never want to die where somebody can see my butt or my penis afterward.
Really?
Okay, maybe. Kind of funny. I have nothing to be ashamed of.
You're dead.
True, but like, it's just like, I don't know. No one's going to want to touch you to put your pants back up.
No.
That's the last image they see of you.
You're going to be dead.
Penis and butt out.
Yeah, balls and back.
Covered in ragu. So like I said, he couldn't keep up these jobs and his parents died, so Sprague was left with no income and no physical ability to work. Sprague was left in a terrible situation, and that was until he was offered a job at a circus sideshow as the living skeleton, or the original Thin Man. Who's the new Thin Man? If he was the original.
Yeah. Who is the new Thin Man?
Or who was the Thin Man at the time, if they're like, oh, no, this guy's going to be the original. And then there's like some skinny guy who's like, fuck, I was the Thin Man.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's the original Thin
Tommy
Man.
Lee? Machine Gun Kelly.
Whoa, he was the
Pete
Thin
Davidson.
Man. Yeah, I want a lanky rocker.
Yeah.
Why are all these rockers so lanky?
So corpse-like.
I want a corpse body. That sounded weird too. He just keeps saying weird things. So after about a year, P.T. Barnum opened up the American Museum Freak Show. So P.T. Barnum hired him basically. And then after about a year, he's like, I'm opening up like a freak show in New York that is going to be like a year-round thing that people can come to. It's like when you go to like the pier and they're like, come into the oddity shop.
It's not like a traveling circus. It's like, it's always going to be there. You can make your trip to go see it.
Exactly. Yeah. So he would work there, and they would just like, people would come in and be like, whoa, that guy, he doesn't eat very much, does he? So he joined the American Museum Freak Show, and they paid Prague $80 a week to work in it. I don't know what he did. I'm guessing he just like stood there. I don't know if they like had the entertainers working or just like sitting there being like, you come look at me, but he was like very feeble.
That's kind of the one thing I never really got about freak shows. It's like, what are they doing?
I think you're literally just sitting there because, like I said, like we have the internet, but if somebody told you like, hey, there's a guy down on like 4th and 5th Street, no, that doesn't work, 4th and East Street, that like he
4th and Main.
You can see his elbows go the opposite way. Also, his penis and his butt are out. You're like, I'm down there.
Yeah, but like, what's he doing?
He's trying to pull up his pants.
Okay,
but his elbows are facing the wrong way.
Well, you get Lobster Boy. What's he doing?
I think sometimes they're just sitting there, like maybe just like kind of like clicking their claws together, or maybe they're trying to like do like a task or spin in a baton, or like You like ironing something or what's interesting for like a skinny person to be doing? Eating? Can't eat for 8 hours a day.
Yoga.
Sliding underneath the door like an envelope. He just go in between the mail slot of a door.
Yeah.
That's
good.
cool.
Yeah. I don't see it.
But he get paid $80 a week to work in it, which was good money. I mean, I don't know what the conversion rate is. That was until the museum was set ablaze and Sprague nearly escaped with his life.
Damn.
Luckily, that man could slide under doors.
Yeah.
No backdraft needed.
No, he rode the heat waves from the fire and just flew away.
He was like Aladdin's carpet.
Yeah.
He just kind of like, woo. So after the fire, Sprague took some time off to marry his wife. They all got wives. Here's the thing, you guys.
You don't.
I don't have a wife.
You got all these freaks they got wives. You don't.
Because
I just got one that keeps fucking interrupting the podcast.
You know why I don't have a wife? Because they said, we only like freaks. And they said, this guy's too handsome.
Makes sense.
Too strong, too thick in all the right places. Not thin enough for me. They said, I want a corpse body. And I said, too bad, ladies. I got muscles. So, after the fire, Sprague took time off to marry his wife. I'm just saying that, don't feel too bad. Everybody can have somebody they love, So, keep it up. You'll find them. Married his wife and had 3 normal, healthy children.
Good. Well, don't let him go swimming now.
They're like, what happened? Or he did the backstroke.
Keep him out of the water.
The doctor's like, you didn't do the backstroke. I got it better. You didn't do the pencil dive, did you? Oh, no. He did the pencil dive. He cursed with the pencil dive. So, Sprague made attempts to stay away from the sideshow. He didn't want to be a part of it anymore.
Yeah, it's fair.
But he could not escape because of financial distress. Which, shit happens. You got to make $1, People work jobs all the time they don't want to work. This guy just thinks he can get out of it because he has a skinny body. No, sorry, go back to work. You got a purpose. So it is rumored that in addition to being financially responsible for his wife and 3 sons, Sprague also had a gambling problem.
Classic.
Yep. They would use him as the stick to push the chips around the craps table.
It.
What? That's cool, though.
That's pretty cool.
To get the dice back?
Yeah.
Just grab him by the ankles. So his condition also kept him from finding real work anywhere. He'd be okay in 2023. He could be like a customer service person.
Yeah.
You don't have to lift your arms or anything. You're fine. Just put on the headset. Finding real work anywhere other than Barnum's. So he continued to tour off and on throughout the country and eventually overseas. And by the age of 44, he was 5 feet 6 inches. So not like relatively that short, but 5 feet 6 inches tall with a weight of 43 pounds.
Shit.
Yeah. Human skeleton, or living skeleton. And Sprague's condition required him to be constantly taking in nutrients, and his health was in such a poor state that he often, oh my God, David, this is the best part. His health was in such a poor state that he often carried milk in a flask around his neck, and he would sip it from time to time to keep himself conscious.
God.
He would
body temperature milk.
He would sip it from time to time to keep himself alive.
Conscious.
Yeah, I can't say it. Conscious. Yeah.
Oh, there's got to be something better than like lukewarm milk. Ugh.
But like at the time, there's no like they just like it makes sense because like they're like milk make baby like strong. Milk has nutrient in it.
Yeah, milk fix all.
Do you think he was drinking breast milk?
Probably.
Maybe. Don't touch my flask. But he had a flask necklace. You should do that. Fill it with milk.
Me?
You're the only one I know that can pull that off.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna hop on Amazon.
I know so. So he ended up dying on January 5th, 1887. Oh, here's the sad part. In poverty, and he died of asphyxia. in Chicago, Illinois. How does that happen? Well, I don't know what happens when you get that skinny, but like maybe like his muscles couldn't expand his lungs and he suffocated,
That's possible.
or like his lung or they collapsed, or I don't know.
What year did you say it was?
When he died,
Yeah.
1887.
Yeah, I'm sure if he died these days, they'd have a little bit better explanation.
Well, they said his condition had been described by historians as extreme progressive muscular atrophy, which is still weird because that's like, that just means you don't use your muscles, correct? Like they atrophy. They like when you're in a hospital bed, like your legs atrophy.
Yeah.
But he swam. He did the one thing that you use all your muscles for.
Yeah.
But he swam so fucking hard that day that he never moved again because he felt ill.
I'm going to blame it on algae.
Hear that, people? Don't go swimming in any place that there's algae.
Hey, man, that blue-green algae wild.
It's true. But here's the thing. Here's the one positive note that I could end on. With I still have one more story, but one more person, but just for this guy because it's just so sad. Besides the milk flask, that was pretty cool. On a positive note, Sprague found happiness. Sorry, I got a yawn.
Come on, man. It's not even 8 o'clock yet.
I like drawing out these, So Sprague found happiness in his family. He described his newfound joy, life that had at times seemed so little worth preserving, now seemed more precious when he talked about his family. So he had a really hard time, and then he had his family, and then he's like, I feel okay now.
Good.
Which is very nice.
Isn't that sweet?
Wait, he had 3 kids? 3
Yeah.
normal, healthy children. Wow.
You said that earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to picture him having sex now. I gotta go. I gotta go fill up my milk flask.
A lot of protruding bones.
Yeah, a lot of. I wonder what his wife looked like. Do you think she's do you think she was a big fat person? That's my Buffalo Bob. Buffalo Bill? Fuck, I always fuck this up. Silence of the Lambs.
Bill.
She a great big fat person.
Does he say that in the movie?
Yeah.
I don't remember that part. I watched the movie recently, and I don't remember that part.
It's I think Clarice Starling like shows up at his house and he's like, "Have you seen this person?" He's like, "Oh, I think so. Wait, is she a great big fat person?" And it's like a really stupid funny line. I kind of love it. Anyway, so maybe she was. Maybe she like a skeleton. So she like a skeleton. Put it on a shirt. So my last guy I want to talk about is Tom Thumb.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Was that his legal name or is that his stage name?
Stage name.
Hell yeah.
So Charles Sherwood Stratton, born 1838, better known by his stage name, General Tom Thumb,
Whoa.
was an American with dwarfism who achieved great fame as a performer under circus pioneer P.T. Barnum. So, I'm not going to lie, this is Hasbulla. He's Hasbulla.
Okay.
He has like the same dwarfism as Hasbulla.
So the dwarfism in the sense that he looks to be a small child.
Can you type in his name real quick? Just type in General Tom Thumb. You have to see him.
Okay.
Sorry, I was sipping my milk. So when Charles was born,
Hey, little Hezbollah.
right? Looks exactly like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he's wearing a little ventriloquist suit.
He looks very shocked in every photo. Very surprised.
I think the one you're probably looking at, the one that that he looks kind of young. He was 10 years old in that. I don't know if you.
No, he just looks very surprised in every photo.
Well, I think they had to stand there for 40 years. So they just had to keep their eyes open really wide.
Oh, I think I just saw a spoiler. All right,
No!
continue your story.
No. So when Charles was born, when Charles was born by his two parents who were first cousins. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it might. He came out a rather large.
Wisconsin.
What?
What?
Okay. So he came out a rather large baby, weighing 9 pounds 8 ounces, and grew until he was about 6 months old, which is when he stopped growing at 25 inches tall, weighing 15 pounds. By the time he was 5 years old, he had only grown 1 inch from when he was 6 months size.
Damn.
Apart from this, he was completely normal, a normal, healthy child with several siblings who were of average size. His body was also proportionate and functional. Like I said, he's a Hasbullah. Phineas T. Barnum heard about Stratton, and after contacting his parents, taught the boy how to sing, dance, mime, and impersonate famous people. Barnum also went into business with Stratton's father, who died in 1855, but Stratton made his first tour of America at the age of 5, with routines that included impersonating characters such as my two favorite characters, Cupid and Napoleon Bonaparte. That's like fucked up to know. Like, I know
Can
that
you really
like
call it impersonating Cupid? Is it an impersonation if it's not a real thing?
what do you call Santa impersonators? Santa?
I guess that's fair.
They just basically put a baby in a diaper and gave him a bow and arrow and some wings, and they're like, you weren't really impersonating him unless you was shooting arrows, I guess. But
I
like,
mean, Santa's holly jolly, good.
well,
guy,
he has
but,
a
like,
Santa has a personality. Cupid
Yeah.
doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's like being like, you're impersonating the Easter Bunny. I'm like, the Easter Bunny doesn't talk. The Easter Bunny doesn't have a catchphrase.
Yeah, he just wears a little vest with eggs on it. Little
Yeah,
bitch.
he wears,
that bunny.
He does wear a vest. Why does he? Is that just to differentiate him from other bunnies?
He's got big nipples. He likes to hide them.
Oh, that's what. Do you think he has a twin underneath that?
Well, he might.
He probably rabbits have like a shit ton of babies. So do you think he has like 40 fucking rabbit nipples, like just like rabbits hanging off him like nipples?
Well, he's definitely got a parasitic twin.
Yes.
Probably got it from Reese's peanut butter cups. Have you seen this?
Dude, the egg. No, wait. No. You are not about to fucking ruin Reese's for me, dude. No
Yeah.
way. Because
Don't eat them.
I thought you were just gonna say the egg ones are the best ones. Why? What
Don't-
happened to what?
People have been
What?
finding like
Stop.
larvae.
Stop.
There's been like mass reports of people finding like
my God.
larvae and shit inside of Reese's peanut butter cups, and yeah, they're like, we don't know what factory it's coming from, so we can't stop it.
I'm gonna fucking vomit.
So yeah, Halloween's around the corner, parents. Don't.
I just
If
ate a
your kids-
shit ton of them.
Yeah, if your kids get them, maybe break them up, maybe cut them into little pies. Make sure there's nothing crawling out of them, then give them to your kids. But yeah, no, I'd stay away from 'em.
Do you think larva is inherently a gross word, or is just because we know what a larva looks like and
It's
we
a
know
nasty. It's a nasty word.
It's like cockroach, right? Like cockroach is gross because we know what a cockroach looks like, or is it because the word cockroach is gross?
Cockroach is kind of an ugly word.
Yeah, it's a very ugly. What's another ugly word? Perineum.
Diarrhea.
Diarrhea. Actually, I think that's pretty beautiful. My daughter's name is Diarrhea.
Vomit.
Vomit's a bad one.
Yeah.
But
Rancid.
But we're picking like things that are inherently gross. That's what like I'm saying. Like, do we have is there anything that's like
Something that sounds bad, but it's not bad. Is that what you're asking?
I guess like is there a word like cattywampus is kind of funny. That's
funny.
a funny word.
It's a
But that
funny
also
word.
is kind of funny. It's like it means something's like not like, it's all a strew. It's like your hat's cattywampus on your head. Your
Yeah.
shirt's all your tie's cattywampus. Right?
So a good thing with an ugly name. What could it be? Lasagna.
Yeah.
That
Real
name
G's.
is just nasty.
Real G's move in silence like it.
Yeah.
Lasagna's-
Lasagna just sounds bad.
Yeah, it sounds like a wet word. It's
Yeah.
wet. Lasagna.
Yeah,
Anyway.
definitely damp.
Moist, damp.
Yeah, it's real,
Cheesecake.
soggy. Cheesecake? No, that doesn't count because you're taking two words that don't sound like they go together well,
Yeah, yeah. I
Like
guess you're
cheese is
right.
fine, cake is fine, but cheesecake sounds bad.
Gluten.
Gluten? Gluten makes me think of like a horse hoof. Because of
You're
glue.
thinking of gelatin.
I'm thinking of glue and gelatin.
Yes. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is a fun game. Do this with your coworkers. Anyway, okay, let's move on. So, like I said, this boy was impersonating Cupid and Napoleon Bonaparte. Boner. Boner is a funny word.
Napoleon wasn't even that small.
Which part did he stick you with? The boner part. Okay, I'm done. So as well as singing, dancing, and comical banter. Dude, he was 5 years old. Calm down. With another performer who acted as a straight man. So he'd have a straight man there, which is like the person who's like the not funny character, and he would be like, "Wah, wah, 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 I'm 5, I'm a little person, I'm 5," and just like wearing a diaper and shooting people with arrows. So to market the act, Barnum gave Stratton the name General Tom Thumb, naming him after the popular English fairy tale. And the tour, which was a huge success and soon expanded. I don't know the Tom Thumb fairy tale.
What? It's so popular.
What is it?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, fuck you! I thought. Wait, Tom Thumb. I thought you were joking.
But it's so popular, so.
In the UK, it might be. Oh, it's just a little guy in a hat. What is this? Tom Thumb.
I love Little Guy in Hat.
Oh my God, Tom Thumb is a character in English folklore. The history of Tom Thumb was published in 1621 and was the first fairy tale printed in English. Tom is no bigger than his father's thumb, and his adventures include being swallowed by a cow, tangling with giants, and becoming a favorite of King Arthur. What? He's a little guy. I don't like that they said like he's the size of his father's thumb. What'd he do with him? What do you do with him?
Dad got big hands.
Tom Thumb screams when he sleeps.
Is that what it says?
Is Tom Thumb the Hat Man? Just saying. No. Tom Thumb has seen some shit. That's all I'm saying. So, like I said, it soon expanded. The whole thing. The whole fucking carnival and his act. So Tom Thumb became an international celebrity and actually surpassed most actors at the time as well, which is actually, I just find it so fucking funny that the same thing happened with Hezbollah, where it's like, even from like the early 1700s or whenever this was happening, 18 something, mid 1800s, like we don't change. We're like little guy, interesting. I want to watch little guy do things.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
okay. The thing I like about Tom Thumb is it kind of relates back to what I was saying earlier, and I was like, all right, like what do they do? You
Yeah.
know? Tom Thumb was an entertainer. Like,
Well-
General Tom Thumb was an entertainer.
Yes.
Like, he actually had
Don't get
like
it twisted.
he actually like had a
He had
skit. Like,
talents.
he was like putting on a show. He was doing stuff, and that's awesome. I like that. I'm just saying, like, I feel like a lot of these guys you don't ever hear what they're
Bunch
actually
of freeloaders.
doing. Yeah, they just fucking sat around.
Well,
play poker with
to
their
be
fucking
completely-
lobster hands.
To be completely honest, like some of these people like could not move. Like
Cowards.
also, does it matter if like the Wolfman guy is like doing anything or just standing there? I'd be like, can you stop moving? I want to look at you.
No, Wolfman's got to be going crazy. He's got to be in a cage, rattling the cage, bouncing off the walls. The bearded woman, though, what's she doing? Just combing her beard?
She
Lame.
kissing me.
She might be kissing you.
Because I'd be like, I've never kissed. Like, I've always wondered what my stubble feels like to women.
I never kissed a woman.
I'm interested in women, but I also want to experience something new.
My face is very cold. Come over here. Give me some
The
sugar.
guys in ZZ Top tried to trick me one time, and I said, no, I like a women. They said, we have a sister, and I said, show me her. Anyway, so Yeah, he's like a real fucking performer. I'm gonna get into it, but he is a real performer. So he met kings and queens and became so wealthy that he even donated to the famine victims in Ireland. Tom Thumb a G, honestly.
Big fan.
He became fucking so rich because he also became like partners with Barnum, like P.T. Barnum, because he's like you're my ringer, like you're my guy. You know what I mean? People come here. He's like he was their Taylor Swift. Everyone was flocking for him. He had the what do you call his tour? What do you call his fans? Thummies?
So, I mean, I'm trying to think of a pun off of Eras, but I can't.
Me too. Let's just think of what his fan base is called. Like, are they the General Tom Thumb soldiers? Are they his soldiers? Are they his
thumbnails?
Are they? Are they his not the Mucinex monster, but what's the other fucking monster that hides underneath the thumbnail? Tough Actin' Tenactin fucking
the
monster.
Tenactins.
The Tenactins.
Oh man, I haven't seen one of those commercials in a long time.
Boom! Tough Actin' Tenactin. Like John Madden fucking
R.I.P.
screaming. Yeah. Anyway, so when
I was thinking about the other day. Remember I did a whole episode about the Madden curse?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I should just throw in an update there.
I don't know much about the Madden curse anymore. I mean, like, I don't know.
It's just the fact that every player that blesses the front cover of the game Madden, like next season, has like either a terrible year or a significant injury. I need to go back and look at what year, like what's happened since.
I mean, well, how many games have come out since too?
That depends on when we did that. I don't remember. Was that last year, 2 years ago?
Anyway, so like I said, when they went to New York to perform, freak shows were actually, this is kind of interesting too. So freak shows at the time, mid-1800s, they were actually looked down upon for being inhumane and distasteful. So even people back then, even though like people went to them, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, like, we wanted to go see this shit. A lot of people would be like, no, this is, like, demeaning and, like, fucked up. But when they saw Tom Thumb perform, it changed the general population's opinion on the cruelty of, the so-called freak. It changed the opinion on his cruelty to see a so-called freak with such talent and volition. So they're like, oh, like, they're having a good time and they're very talented and like, okay, like maybe it's not like inhumane. They're getting paid well. And that's the whole thing. Like if somebody's getting like paid for their services, like a lot of people say the same thing about like stripping or something, but like they get paid a lot of money and sex work. They like, you don't have to do it, but like if you do, just get compensated fairly for it. You know what I mean? Just don't be taken advantage of. So Tom Thumb was such a good entertainer that he was actually judged by critics not as a carnival freak act, but as a real performer of the arts.
Damn.
And so they would just be like, oh, like Tom put on a great performance. They weren't like, he's little and weird. Ha 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 ha. Like they were like, oh shit, like he's talented and like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Which is very progressive, And by the time Tom was 24 years old, he only stood 2 feet 11 inches tall.
Damn.
Yeah. So, Tom went on to marry his wife, Lavinia Warren, who was also a little person and circus performer.
That was a spoiler I saw.
She kind of looked like him. They all kind of have like a look to him a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Hasbulla looks like him, and like the wife kind of looks like Hasbulla. It's very interesting. And after their 10,000 guest wedding. Damn. By the way, the best man was also a little person performer, and the bridesmaid or the maid of honor was her sister, who is also a little person. I don't know about the priest. I don't know about the pastor.
Yeah.
But after their 10,000 guest wedding, they went to the White House and fucking met Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. Standing next to that man is the funniest thing I could imagine.
Yeah, 6'4", standing next to 2.6. You said.
We ain't even counting the hat.
Yeah.
Imagine if, oh my god, I want to see Tom Thumb in the Lincoln hat so bad.
Yeah. What if they hollowed out the top and he was just sitting in there?
Oh my god, he just has them like it's like the hat's moving around the floor, and he's underneath it.
You're a real bastard, man.
So you're a bastard, man. So Tom became an extremely wealthy man, buying an extravagant New York home and owning a steam yacht. And just to wrap this up, Tom Thumb died in 1883 of a stroke at the age of 45, 6 months after narrowly escaping a disastrous hotel fire at the Newhall House in Milwaukee that killed 71 people. Him and his wife were picked up by like their manager and like ran out of there.
Crazy.
And like I said, there's been a lot of circus freaks or circus entertainers that have been in like fires that narrowly escaped. The human skeleton also was like in a fire. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I
gotta say, man, if Tom Thumb was alive today, he would have put Deep Roy out of business. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, yeah. Deep Roy is like barely doing anything. For those of you guys who don't know, Deep Roy
Deep Roy.
Is the little person Indian man that is in like a lot of like Tim Burton movies.
He's in a shit ton of movies.
He played all of the Oompa
Loompas.
Loompas. Yeah. He's a good actor, but
He is a good actor.
He's no Tom Thumb, that's all I'm saying.
I just love his name too. That's
Deep Roy is
Deep
fucking
Roy.
great.
Such a good name.
Yeah, that's a good one.
His Instagram is great.
Do you follow him on Instagram?
No, I've got a friend that loves sending me some good Deep Roy content.
You can't take the plunge and follow him? Jesus
No.
Christ, you're such a fake fan.
You know, I got to keep my ratio up, you know?
Yeah, Deep wouldn't even want you.
Yeah,
So just to wrap this up, at 45, he had reached a maximum height of 3.35 feet and weighed 71 pounds.
so he kept growing a little bit.
A little bit. He was growing a little bit. Even like late into his life.
It makes you wonder how tall he could have gotten if he kept living, you know?
Oh, he's like a tortoise. He could live to like 180. He would have been Lincoln-sized.
Yeah.
He had reached. Oh, I already read that. At the top of his giant gravestone, I think he was buried in Connecticut. I think he's buried in Connecticut, somewhere in Connecticut. At the top of his giant gravestone, he has like a fucking pillar. And at the top of the pillar stands a life-size statue of Tom and his wife. Actually, I think it's just Tom. But his wife, who died 35 years later, was interred next to him with a simple gravestone reading, his wife. That's what her fucking gravestone said.
His wife?
His wife.
Not his loving wife or
Honestly, you could bury me.
loving mother, his wife.
She must have chose it. I don't know. But, like, she died 35 years after him. And she had time to think about it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, if I got buried next to Tom Thumb, you could put, like, he shook his hand once.
Tawny Pinky.
Don't even put my name on it. Just good new Tom. Just new Tom. Somebody broke the fucking statue in, like, sometime, and they had to repair it.
Fuckers. They had a kid, right?
I don't think so.
I saw a family photo.
What?
And these are the things I think about all the time when we do these types of stories. I'm like,
how'd it come out?
Is his bloodline still going strong today? Like,
oh my god, that is a baby. Holy shit.
Like, are his descendants still with us?
Did I tell you his last name?
What?
Did I tell you his last name?
Yeah. At the very beginning, you said, I don't remember what it was, but at the very beginning, you said his full name, and then you said stage name.
Yeah, his full name is Charles Sherwood Stratton Roy.
Deep Roy.
I'm just kidding. It's just Stratton. That'd have been cool, though.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, they got a baby in this picture, dude. Ooh, look at his wife. She a cutie.
Yeah, I like that do.
Who, hers?
Her hair do.
Hard part in the middle.
I mean, he's got a good cut too. It's kind
got
of
a
like
good
that
cut.
Edgar Allan Poe, like shag.
Yeah, his chin kind of be morphing into. He doesn't have much of a strong chin though.
No.
But God, is he cute? When that one reason the little tuxedo standing on the chair. He's 10 years old.
I guess a lot of these photos, he kind of just looks like a chubby Edgar Allan Poe.
I think everybody back then kind of did.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who's this other little fat guy? Wait, that's
Was your
old Tom
phone off?
Thumb. Yo, shut the fuck up. Moving on. Oh my God. Oh my God, there's a picture of him. Wait, there's a picture of him dressed in the Napoleon costume.
Yeah.
Here, look at
No,
this one.
I've seen them. They're
Okay,
great.
good. They're good. They're real good.
I'm a big fan.
You know what's fucked up? My first thought is I want to see what his wiener looked like. Am I the only one? Because I want to know what size it is. I'm just being honest.
Honesty, it's key, man. You know.
You ever see that giant guy and you're like, I want to see what his wiener looks like.
Oh man.
It's funnier that I say wiener instead
Yeah.
of penis. Because wiener's less, it's more funny. It's a wiener.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
All right, Tobin. Today
It worked. It worked. You had a kid. Big enough.
It's all it counts. Today I've got a list episode, kind of like what you just did. And this is a list of some of the worst historical deaths I've ever seen
You've seen him? You watched him?
that I've read. So let's start off with a real shitty one. And I hope we haven't covered any of these before.
I was gonna
like we're
say,
talking about.
I was gonna say, I think I did like 2 episodes on like horrid deaths. So
We'll
I want to
find
hear
out.
it. We're gonna have a different take on it though. Like I said, this is gonna
Yeah.
be a 3-year later
Years.
take.
Yeah,
Come on,
It's fine.
we've
So-
matured. I want to see little people's wieners and big people's wieners.
Yeah. He just wants to see wieners, folks.
That's not true.
So this is the Erfurt latrine disaster.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So this occurred on July 26th, 1148.
I'm sorry, but it's really funny. I just watched a 2.5-hour video on YouTube about the history of like civilization because Megan and I were talking about that. I don't know. I was like, shut the hell up. It's my wiener. I named my wiener Megan. Megan and I were talking about. It's my girlfriend, dude. So I can look at wieners because I got a girlfriend. Anyway, so we were talking about how we didn't know if somebody's like, when was Julius Caesar alive?
Yeah.
Like, can you even give me like not only like I wouldn't even ask like when like from birth date to death date, but like a 500-year gap on either side. Like, when was he alive?
Oh, it was BC, right?
No.
He was before Christ.
Wait.
Was he not? Are you
Wait,
saying when was he born?
Or died. Like I'm saying, from either side.
He was pretty close to like
Oh.
the BC era.
Oh yeah, you were. Yeah, you're right.
I only know that because my mom thinks that Julius Caesar was Jesus Christ.
That's right. That's right. That's right. We did talk about this. So he was born. He was born 100 BC and died 44 BC.
Yeah.
So he died 44, and it goes backward. So it's like he
Yeah, of
died
course.
44 years before Christ. But like, it's just so crazy to me. I watched that 2.5-hour video, and I still don't know like when he was alive because there's like the dates just throw me off so hard. I'm like, it's weird to think that we live on the same planet that all this shit happened. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it
yeah.
seems like a different planet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway,
So yeah, struggling with reading the date 1000.
this is AD.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we have records for 1000 BC.
No. So yeah, this is 11. We're just gonna go 1184. when the King of Germany, Henry VI, held a Hoftag, which is an informal assembly, in the Petersburg citadel of Erfurt.
I think
It's
we brought
funny
up
because it's Erfurt.
Oh my god, good timing. Now you want to talk about it. Okay.
That morning of the meeting, the people flooded the room for the meeting, which, due to the combined weight of the attendees, caused the wooden second story to collapse, leading to many people.
The back deck at Club Aqua fucking collapsed. Who built the back deck at Club Aqua?
Well, Kim Kardashian was there.
Yeah, her head fell off. Okay.
So yeah, the floor, the building collapsed, the floor collapsed, leading to many of the people to fall into the latrine cesspit.
Oh.
That's right. For people who don't know what a latrine cesspit is, it's basically a basement of shit and piss.
I was gonna say it sounds like it's a basement of shit. If you didn't know, you'd be like, I guess that was a when I hear cesspit, that's a word.
Yeah.
Like a cesspool.
Yeah. So it's basically just what do you call it? Like when you got the big tank.
As like a septic tank.
Septic tank. Yeah, it's like a room that was a septic tank.
Shit.
So around 60 people fell and drowned in human waste
because shit fell on top of them. Like people and wood fell on. So like once they landed.
So you do
in
know
shit
about this?
Piss, no, I'm just guessing how people drowned.
No, they just sank. I don't think there was a way to escape out of it.
Wait, how deep was it?
They didn't put a ruler stick in there or anything, but yardstick. But yeah, and who knows? Maybe they don't want to fucking swim, but
that's true. Nobody back then knew how to swim.
No, but hey, at least they didn't go alone, right?
They died how they. Do you think anybody ever said that?
They died how they lived.
It's not. It's how I wanted to go.
So yeah, 60 people basically fell in a big toilet and died.
What was that meeting for? Is that like you said Parliament?
They're
just like meeting about like the new stamps they were gonna make or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like an unofficial meeting, so it couldn't have been that important. But
that's why you don't flood in a room. I take my time. I'm always the last to show up and the first to leave.
First to leave.
Yep.
All right, next story. This is the death of Union Major General John Sedgwick. So Sedgwick was one of the highest
Sedgwick the Entertainer.
Sedgwick the Entertainer was one of the high. Oh, he entertained on this. Let me tell you. Sedgwick the Entertainer was one of the highest-ranking officers for the Union at the time. I think it was like him and two other guys were like the highest-ranking generals. Mm-hmm. But his life would come to an end during the Battle of Spotsylvania Courthouse. The Battle of Spotsylvania Courthouse on May 9th, 1864, when his soldiers and himself were probing a battle, being about 1,000 yards from the Confederate soldiers.
Probe. It's a good word, too.
Yeah, I'm just checking it out.
Yeah.
Sedgwick saw some of his soldiers were scared, and like all good leaders, he attempted to boost their confidence and morale.
Did he do a backflip?
He did a backflip, and he slipped, and his pants fell down, and he broke his neck, and his butt fell out.
What does penis look like?
His penis was all mangled. Syphilis.
That backflip really did him dirty, huh?
Yeah. So he wanted to, boost their confidence and led by example. So Sedgwick stepped out of cover, pacing back and forth, delivering a speech, which during he was scolding his soldiers for flinching from incoming rounds, saying, "Why are you dodging like this? They couldn't hit an elephant at this distance."
See, you know what the problem is right there? I knew he was gonna die because his metaphor, his comparison wasn't clever enough.
Yeah.
Like he should have said something like they couldn't hit.
The red side of a barn.
Yeah, or like they couldn't hit my mangled dick if it fell out of my pants.
So he said, "Why are you dodging like this? They couldn't hit an elephant at this distance." Right as a bullet passed through his left eye socket, killing him instantly.
Honestly, fucking sick.
Yeah, his last words is, "They couldn't hit an elephant."
And then the soldier looked at the other soldier and went, "Holy shit, he was an elephant."
I'm kind of hungry.
They took the wrong thing from that story. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
You're kind of hungry? Yeah, let's
I'm
go to
kinda
the
hungry.
next one.
Let's talk about the execution of Saint Lawrence,
St. Lawrence?
which
of
I
Arabia?
almost feel like we've talked about this one before. I couldn't remember, but I decided to leave it in because I feel like you and I are quite Saint Lawrence-esque people. So Saint Lawrence is still remembered today as a famous martyr living in Rome in the 2nd century, and was one of the 7 deacons who were in charge of helping the poor and needy. What were you going to say?
I was going to say 2nd century. That is 200 AD.
There you go.
I really just want to like try to get my mind to really understand
Wait.
when shit was happening. What?
Was it AD?
You said the 2nd century. It couldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2nd century?
But Rome was there before Jesus was.
No, Rome.
No?
The Romans killed Jesus.
Well, yeah. So
The
that
Romans
would mean
killed-
that they were there.
Well, yeah. They killed Jesus in 0 AD. Because it went backwards, and then when it hit AD, it started going frontwards, and now we're in the year 2000. So we're 2023 years from when Jesus died.
Yeah.
Is that crazy that guy died, and everyone's like, calendar is defined now? I'm like so-called
Man.
atheist when they say the fucking date.
That dude didn't even exist.
No,
so-
dude, that's what I was just talking to Sam about. I'm like, the crazy thing is, I forgot he did exist. Like, you hear all these like mythologies about Jesus and being like, oh, Jesus, son of God, blah blah blah, and you're like, oh no, and then they're like, Jesus was like a real person. I have to say this on mic because it fucking blew my mind. Do you know why I watched this 2.5-hour video? Do you know why Jesus was in Bethlehem and was born in that barn? Was because the Romans were like, yo, we're having a census. Everybody needs to come to like the nearest town where like the Romans are, and they need to say like who you are so we can start taxing people. So that's why they went there, and everything was fucking filled up with the hotels because everybody was in town for the census. And that's why they had to go fucking give birth in a barn. I was like, damn, Jesus was born in a barn because of taxes. Or a
That is
census,
interesting.
really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I'm totally sorry. I
All right.
sidetracked that.
So a group of people in Rome decided they had enough of these filthy Christians and set out to...
They were Christians, I thought.
No, there were some... Like the Pope.
What?
Pope. You know Pope.
Yeah. Wait, I thought the Pope... Wait, okay, just keep going. I'm sorry.
So, they were tired of all the filthy Christians and set out to kill Pope Saint Sixtus II. As they took the Pope to chop his head off, Saint Lawrence decided to follow the Pope and his capturers. The leader of this group decided that not just the Pope's head would be enough and decided to kill Saint Lawrence as well.
Because he saw him following him?
Yeah, because he was kind of like being a fly. Like he was following them, like trying to talk to the Pope and stuff. And they're like, all right, fine. We're going to kill you too.
Oh, yeah. They're like, we don't have beef with you. But he's like, I'm on the Pope's side. I'm on the Pope's side. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay, like, back the fuck up. And they're like, don't kill him. And they're like, we're going to kill you if you keep it up. And they fucking are like, okay.
So they decided to make a spectacle of his death and thought roasting him over a fire on an iron grill would be a good move to make him suffer the most.
Oh, flame broiled Lawrence.
So while St. Lawrence was roasting over the fire, Lawrence looked over to his captors to tell them, "I think this side is done. You should flip me over."
Yo, he did not.
Yeah, before he died from the flames.
Damn. Did they have him like over like the flames as like a were they doing like the classic like cartoon?
No, I don't think it was like a spit roast, like spinning spit roast.
He was probably like
Rotisserie.
strung out like big ol' X, right?
Yeah, like on the big old grill.
Yeah.
So, live like St. Lawrence and die with some humor like St. Lawrence.
That kind of reminds me of the Giles Corey thing. Giles Corey was the guy that died in Salem. I'm going to Salem at the end of the month, Massachusetts, on witch trial area.
Yeah, massive two shits.
Yeah, exactly. And Giles Corey was one of the guys. He was like one of the only guys that got killed in the Salem witch trials, and they stacked rocks on top of him. Do you remember that? They stacked rocks on top of him until like he got crushed to death, and his last words were "more weight." But I made a joke to Megan. I said, "What if his last words weren't more weight? What if his last words were,
oh wait,
no, they were more weight." Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
So yeah, next story. This is the death of Manius Aquilius.
Oh.
And let me tell you, he did not have a good one-liner before his death.
No.
I'd
be screaming.
Yeah, this guy, I don't even think he was screaming. I don't think he could.
Oh, shit.
Manius was a Roman politician and a war general during the late Roman Republic and had a long, successful career in war. That is until he was defeated and captured by Mithridate of the sixth. Oh, Mithridate the Sixth of Pontus in the First Mithridanic War.
See, there are so many fucking like I don't even know Panthos. You said that's like probably
Pontos.
Yeah, that's probably somewhere in the Middle East. Like it
that's been renamed.
Yeah, the names changed so many. I mean, even just after the Ottoman Empire, like before that, it was just like all these different sections, like that were just called like Pantos, and like,
I mean, look at Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now that is the Czech Republic and Slovakia, and that happened in the late 90s.
Yeah. Back then, like the lands were like you'd be like, cool, we have a new country, and then all of a sudden, like the Mongols would come in and be like, no, you don't, and you're like, fuck.
Don't you miss those days when the Mongols would just come in and change things?
Dude, I forgot. Like watching that video made me like go like, holy shit! There has been so many like people who are just like, I want to see how much land I could take, and then every time they're just like, I've stretched myself too thin, and then they die horribly.
Yeah, nuclear warheads really changed that.
Yeah.
People don't be doing that so much anymore.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. Would be fun, though.
I want more land, please.
So, yeah, he was defeated in war. His armies were defeated in war, and he was captured. And it was at this point he was killed by having molten gold poured down his throat.
Yo, that's one I see pop up in history sometimes as like being like, has to be the worst or one of the worst, right?
Kind of like Khaleesi's nasty freak brother. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, exactly. That was on the head though. That wasn't even down the throat. But I think they killed people like that who are like greedy, right? People that are like, it's like a metaphor. They're like,
well, I think
watch
the Roman.
this shit.
I think the Romans were known for being a little greedy.
Yeah,
or very like
the
very
Roman Empire
obsessed, like
the Roman
flashy.
Empire was the biggest empire. I can see how they kind of wanted more. They were a empire of excess.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So next story.
It's like eating a Hot Pocket.
Yeah. One time. Now this, for the record, is the way I would like to die. And this is the London beer flood.
Whoa, like kind of like the molasses flood.
That's how I opened this. I said similar to the molasses flood. This
massive two shits.
Massive two shits. So this accident took place at the Mew and Co. Horseshoe Brewery in London October 17th, 1814. This
They
took
had
place
beer back then.
Yes, they did. You know how beer was invented like damn near medieval times, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's probably mead first, and then they're like, oh, well, let's do something different with it, and now it's beer.
Do you know why beer was invented in the first place?
Probably because like some grain was fucking going bad, and there's like soak it in shit or something, right?
I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure how it started was that they knew like water sources were not healthy to drink.
Yeah.
And so they would try to like cook it out, and they like kind of just kept like making different ideas and stuff, and they tried different things, and then ended up like fermenting into beer.
Isn't that crazy? The guy who drank the first glass of beer and was like, "What the fuck? This is weird, guys." I'm like happy.
Machine. I'd go back to the first beer.
He's like, "I'm gonna make this my
shit for sure," but
yeah. But he's like, I'm gonna make this my whole identity." And they're like, "You're an alcoholic," and he's like, "Oh, what? I don't even know what that is."
The dude just all of a sudden had a beard, like a little vest.
He had a twisty mustache. He's like, those people drinking the first beer had literally no judgment. Everybody was an alcoholic probably because they're like, let's just keep drinking this. And everyone's like, this is fantastic. And they're like,
yeah.
Tom kind of drinks a little bit too much. I'm like, it's good. That's why. And then all of a sudden, like,
makes you wonder who the first like self-aware alcoholic was.
The guy who crashed his horse. That's what happened.
You said that like that was like a specific event that everybody knew about.
Well, they knew it because he had the most. When he died, he flipped over his horse, pants fell down, most mangled dick in town. Everyone.
There's just nothing there. Just
it was on the
stump.
It was on the front of the wood pallet. Or like I don't know. They didn't have newspapers back then, right? They just had like fucking his mangled dick.
Now printing press was not around yet.
They just actually instead of like the newspaper, they just carted his like mangled dick around, and people were just like, woof. They're like, that's what happens when you drink too much of that. They're like, what's that called?
Horse hoof in there.
They're like, we're calling it mangled dick juice or beer. We're not really sure which one yet. We're gonna honor him, but maybe we'll stick with beer.
All right, so we're getting back into this. So this took place. Like this took place when one of the 22-foot tall wooden vats of fermenting porter bursted. And the wave of the dark beer took out another vessel and destroying several large barrels, unleashing 323,000 gallons of beer.
I wish I could even know how much. I know how much 1 gallon is.
I mean, you look at a gallon of milk.
Yeah. Oh, I'd put that around my neck.
That times 323,000.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. So when the first vessel broke, the brick wall that it was near also got destroyed, creating an exit for all 323 gallons to escape from.
Okay.
And the beer
Kool-Aid guy.
resulting in a wave overtook a slum of London, killing 8 people. 5 of the casualties came from a wake being held by an Irish family who had just lost a 2-year-old boy.
Okay.
That's rough.
Why'd you put that in there?
Because it's sad.
They're all like standing over and they're like,
The majority of the people who died in this flood were mourning the loss of a 2-year-old, which is
they're
like
fuck. He's
but
like,
you know what? An Irish person, you know, that's how they want to go.
he's like,
I say that as part Irish.
he's like, oh, Seamus, what did you pray for? Like, oh, I prayed for everlasting life, that he has everlasting life in heaven. And he's running around with the old doggo. And he's like, Peter, what did you pray for? And he's like, turn around.
A nice porter.
He's like, turn around. That's what I prayed for. To get me through these hard times. Oh, fuck. Too much. I prayed too hard, Seamus.
So, due to this accident, breweries at the time stopped using the large wooden vats. Interesting enough, the brewery that was responsible for this accident, the Mew, which is Meux. I believe that's pronounced Mew.
Whoa.
Mew and Co.
Mucinex monster.
Mucinex Monster and Co. They actually stayed around until closing in 1961.
Yo,
which was really not that long ago.
We let them close. They're an institution. They killed people.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So this next death is the death of. Give me a second here. Aeschylus.
Him.
The Greek playwright.
Love him.
We could go into his works and what he actually did, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about his unfortunate demise. So here we go.
I hope this is how people remember me, on how I died, not how I lived.
Exactly. So in 458 BC, Aeschylus, oh my God, I just said it well too. Aeschylus was told in a prophecy that he was going to die in an accident where his house was going to collapse and kill him.
Whoa.
So he grew
Was he told by his architect? I didn't build this shit right.
Yeah, something's really wrong.
I drink a lot of that beer that everyone's talking about.
So he grew very fearful of his house, and he opted to spend basically all this time outside at this point.
Fair.
One day he was outside of the city when an eagle was flying around with a tortoise looking for a rock to shatter its shell on to eat its innards. Then the eagle saw the perfect big old rock in the sun, and with laser precision dropped the tortoise from a great distance to strike the rock. But there's a catch. That rock was no rock.
I think we know what the rock was.
It turned out to be Aeschylus's big old bald head,
Big old
killing
dome
him
piece.
instantly.
Damn. Shit. Well,
I didn't even know eagles did that. They throw turtles at rocks to crack them open.
I don't think we live in a place where turtles and eagles are coexisting. So maybe it has to be
Are
like
tortoises even like a natural thing anymore?
What does that mean?
So a tortoise is a land-based turtle.
Yeah, where they don't need to live in water.
Yes. Well, I don't think they really
David the
can.
Coward has a tortoise.
Yeah, I think they dip in their toes, but I don't think tortoises can't swim.
Tortai do not. They can swim. They just don't live. Yeah, they're not like they're mainly land with a little water, and I feel like a turtle is mainly water with a little land.
See, I thought there were like three turtles. I thought there was a tortoise, then there's the turtle in the middle, and then there's like a sea turtle. And I thought a turtle was kind of in the middle, where they can like basically live in water, but like they don't always live in water. And then there's like sea turtles that are always in water, and then there's like tortoises that are like almost never in water. They're like in the sun.
See, I thought there was
stumpy hands and big old necks.
So I thought there was a turtle, a tortoise, and a turtle.
And what's a turtle?
Oh, you don't want to know about the turtles?
I guess I don't.
They're menaces. They're pests.
Okay. So where does the sea turtle line up in this?
They'll fuck up your joists in your house. Not the turtle. Okay. They're gonna come in and be like, "Yeah, you don't want to buy this house. It's turtle infested." But they're mostly house based.
See, I always think of tortoises being like desert regions.
Yeah. You're kind of right.
Well, this happened in Italy. It was in Sicily.
I mean, that's close. Sicily's an island. We can
where's
move
a
on.
turtle's dick, huh?
I want to see that turtle.
Is there a little trap door that opens up and it
Come
scoots
on.
out?
Everybody want to see the dick. Let's see it, mangled or not. Yeah, that sucks to get a tortoise dropped on your
tortoise
head.
dropped on your head from 100 yards
So
up.
here's my question though. I think I
Yeah.
brought this up before, but like, what like, let's just say in 3,000 years. Not saying we're gonna make it that long, but like
sure.
accomplishments kind of go out the window. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we don't even like. You'd be like Socrates and like a couple people that you'd be like, oh, they're like philosophers or playwrights or this or that.
Yeah.
Most people don't know your name, but you could in 3,000 years get brought up on a podcast because
hilarious.
you fell into a wood chipper legs first
Yeah.
while at your son's graduation.
While
and
it was
like,
on low mode, so you had 3 minutes to talk.
yeah, exactly. So it's like obviously that is a bad way to die, and maybe it's embarrassing to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, your legacy lives on at least. So like,
Yeah.
if you're not going to be remembered for your accomplishments, why not get remembered for your weird death? And I'm not saying go die a weird way. I'm just saying that if it does happen to you, there could be worse things. And if it's really painful, that is the worst thing. I get that. But like,
It's only for a little bit.
the more painful, the higher the legacy.
You
The
know,
longer the legacy.
think about it statistically, like you live to be 60,
Yeah.
and then you have an agonizing death that's like 3 minutes.
Yes.
3 minutes is nothing of that 60 years, it's fine.
That's like not even like 1/846th of a percent.
Exactly. Suck it up.
Suck it up. You're going to live forever in history.
I'm going to end up like getting
Too
my
dumb at-
skin peeled off.
Yeah, and then two dumbasses will be talking about you on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
All right, next story. This is the death of legendary daredevil Big Dick Leach.
You got a big dick leech?
Big Dick Leach.
Ooh.
So Bobby B.D. was born in England April 26th, 1926.
Whoa.
And was the second person to take on the classic old-timey stunt of going over Niagara Falls in a wooden barrel.
Oh, hell yeah.
He did this 10 years after Annie Taylor did it first.
Whoa. I didn't know who did it first, and I don't know who did it last, but good for all of them. I wouldn't have done it at all.
Yeah. So unfortunately for Bobby Boy, he did not walk away from Niagara Falls unscathed, spending 6 months in the hospital to heal from injuries, which included 2 broken kneecaps and a fractured jaw.
Oh my God, he uppercutted
fucked
himself.
up.
Also, like, why the fuck would you go over the Niagara Falls to be the second person that went over? He's not
the
even
first man.
I guess, but still, you're the second person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to really go to the moon anymore because it's already been like.
Oh,
do you know,
dude, I'm so over the moon.
Do you know the second person?
Why would I ever go to the moon?
Do you know the second person that stepped on the moon? That's what
Tommy Linthgrade.
What, do you know him in 11th grade?
It's not even a grade, dude.
I know, that was a dumb joke. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying you don't know the second person that did anything. Who was the second president?
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, I think it was actually. I don't even know, but that's a bad example. But like,
Give me another one.
you almost didn't know. Who was the second Super Bowl winner?
Green Bay Packers.
Again?
Yeah, they won the first 2.
Well, that doesn't count. That's the only reason you know that is because you're a fucking Green Bay Packer fan. But if it was somebody else, you wouldn't have fucking known. That's what I'm saying, is that doesn't matter about the second person that fucking went over the Niagara Falls.
I know all about second place, baby.
I bet you do. You get right. I like how you're
never win.
you're hedging about that too. You didn't even get second place, you fucking liar.
So Bobby Boy spent most of his life performing stunts in either a circus or kind of freelance shenanigans. I don't know what you'd call that. Like, I'm going to jump over.
He's doing freelance shenanigans, not getting paid for it.
Well, okay. You get paid for freelance shenanigans. I'm saying, like, if you're going over Niagara Falls in a barrel, like, what would you call that?
Building your portfolio.
Okay. Well, then take freelance shenanigans and rename it Building Your Portfolio.
Okay.
That is until a fateful day in 1926 when Bobby slipped on an orange peel.
Stop.
hurting his leg. And being a tough idiot, he ignored his injury, which turned into gangrene, which led to his leg being amputated.
And then it spread to his fucking heart.
Which led to complications, which led to his death from an orange peel. This man went over Niagara Falls in a wooden barrel and survived, and then died from slipping on an orange peel.
I think it's funny we go slip on an orange peel, but in reality, he probably slipped on an orange peel and then his bone shot through his leg, and he was like, ah! And we're all like, silly
Compound
of him.
fracture.
Yeah. And he's like, oh my God! Like, it's interesting, though. Jesus.
So that's where I'm going to end this. In these deaths, we've learned a lot. Like, when to not be so prideful and taunt your enemies 1,000 yards away from them, only to be shot in the brain through an eye. Or things like, even though you can overcome great obstacles, sometimes it's something as small as an orange peel that can take you out.
It usually is a small thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a bullet in the back of the head, of course.
Yeah.
But sometimes you survive the waterfall and the vitamin C gets you.
Yeah.
Shit.
I just thought that was funny because usually it's a banana peel, not an orange peel.
That's
I've
what
never
I was
heard of
thinking.
anybody slipping on an orange peel.
Aren't you glad you didn't trip banana? That's how we ended. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love telling you the stories, and we love when you stick around and listen to them. If you guys want any more information, go to Camp Strange Podcast on Instagram.com. We will post pictures of Hasbullah and General Tom Thumb and this guy mid-bullet going through his eyeball. If we can find it. It's somewhere. Someone took a picture. David's hitting the dab. If you guys want to send us anything, send it to Camp
When's the last time I saw someone dabbing, huh?
I don't know. Probably like
That really died out.
It did. Everything dies out. Especially that's what this podcast is about. No freaks or accident people. Freak accidents. There we go. But if you guys want to send us anything, send it to campstrangepodcast@gmail.com. Click the link in bio on Instagram. I'm going all over the place. If you want merch, and share with your friends and subscribe and rate this shit. And
okay, I want to pause you right now. I'm going to take my one last thing before we leave.
What?
If you have not given us a review, especially on like Apple Podcasts, please do that. It has been over a year. It has been over a calendar year since someone has left a review on our podcast. I looked at it the other day because I get curious every now and then. I'm like, oh yeah, what if anybody say anything? And it has been over a year since anybody has left a review.
Leave a bad one for all we care. We don't care. We just want to know.
It's kind of hard to get motivated to keep doing this shit.
I think we're screaming into a void.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's hearing this.
If anybody, if you've heard the call of the mangled dick, you need to DM us on Instagram and tell us how much we ruined your commute to work. So
no, please give us good reviews.
Yeah, give us a good review if you want to, and share it with a friend. We actually had I actually went onto the email the other day and checked on it just to check on it, and somebody said that I forgot who sent it to us, but they said that they were at something and somebody brought up the Joker, and this 20-year-old kid was like, I'm the Joker, baby. And then the woman who was 15 years older was like, haha. And he goes, oh, you get the reference? And I was like, oh, they're going to I'm like, oh, she's misunderstood because I'm the Joker babies from a YouTube video of that Australian guy doing his acting class. You know what I mean? And apparently she said at the same time, they both said Camp Strange. And I was like, now we're the originators of I'm the Joker baby?
Wait,
I'm okay.
what?
I'm okay with that. But
sorry, I'm confused. Someone was quoting us?
I guess somebody said I'm the Joker baby, and the other person was like, haha, and someone's like, oh, you actually understand that reference, and they were having a conversation, and at the same time, they both said Camp Strange. I still don't believe that. My brain can't fathom that. No. Oh my God.
Mind is...
I received an email, and somebody wrote this story to me and said I was at an event. Somebody said, I'm the Joker baby. I laughed at it. And the kid goes, oh, you understand? Like, why are you laughing?
Yeah,
You
no one's
understand that?"
no one's quoting us.
No.
that was just a bold faced lie.
The doctor's like, you have a mangled dick. And he's like, haha, you will listen to Camp Strange. And he's like, seriously, your dick is horribly mangled.
You will never reproduce.
We're
Camp afraid
Strange?
of how you're going to urinate.
What's Camp Strange? This isn't a bit. Anyway. So that's what they said. And I there's part of me that doesn't believe them, but part of me goes, wow, we are bringing the world together.
No, there's zero chance.
One Joker baby at a time.
I hope not, because that would make me feel like we're stealing from an incredible performance.
I think we're spreading the performance.
Okay,
they know where the originator is. We're not claiming that.
Once you get that performance, you can't get rid of it,
It's seared in your brain.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. And is that all? Is that the last thing you wanted to say before we left, David?
Aye, Captain. Oh,
all right.
Happy Halloween?
We're not. Are we going to be after Halloween?
Do we have another episode?
I don't know. Dress up as your favorite freak for Halloween. Or your favorite accident-prone person.
Halloween is in 2 Tuesdays.
Oh. So we're going to miss Halloween by a little bit. But we'll tell you how our Halloween went.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm going to be in Massachusetts by then.
Massachusetts?
I'll tell you how them witch trials were. I'm going to drop that Giles Corey joke on them. See how they react.
Drop it on.
Drop it on like a fucking stone on their chest. Anyway. All right. And don't forget to stay strange.